Hello, and welcome to Dreamy Tales, a sanctuary where everyone can experience calm and a touch of magic before gently drifting into sleep. Tonight, we invite you on another enchanting journey, a story that helps soothe the mind and nurture a sense of peace. Before we begin, let's take a moment to prepare our bodies and minds for a comforting, restorative rest. Make yourself cozy, and with each slow inhale and long exhale, let the cares of the day gradually slip away. It's not always easy to step back from the day's demands, especially as night falls. Yet, remember, the less we worry about how quickly we'll fall asleep, the simpler it is for our minds to release any remaining tension. Allow the gentle flow of your breathing to wash away lingering concerns, and let the story ahead guide you into a state of deep relaxation. Now, settle in, and let the dreamy atmosphere softly wrap around you. Enjoy this story, and may you drift into a peaceful, restful slumber here on Dreamy Tales.
Let your mind drift, perhaps down less trodden paths, towards a tranquility born of stone and sunlight. Picture yourself adrift in Florence, navigating its time-worn streets, drawn towards an encounter with artistry incarnate. Here, amidst the echo of centuries, our narrative awakens. Through the gallery's grand portal you glide, your footfalls a soft percussion on the polished stone floor. Excitement simmers, yet you linger, allowing the anticipation to steep like fine tea. Mere moments separate you from confronting a legend chiseled into permanence. You stand within the Accademia Gallery, nestled in Florence's historic heart, the sanctuary of the world's most celebrated statue, Michelangelo's David. You enter a long, vaulted hall, a corridor flanked by silent sentinels of sculpture and canvas, and there, commanding the vista at the far end, elevated upon its plinth, is your first breathtaking glimpse. The colossal form resolves, Michelangelo's vision of the biblical champion, David. He is youth and power rendered in marble, poised, his gaze intense, directed towards an unseen horizon. A sling rests almost casually in one hand. He is caught in the charged stillness before the clash with Goliath. Drawn by an invisible current, you move closer, yearning to absorb every nuance. David. The name resonates with a peculiar familiarity, his likeness disseminated across posters, pages, and trinkets innumerable. To behold him now, in his true dimension, feels almost unreal, like shaking hands with a figure stepped from myth. Yet, despite this phantom acquaintance, nothing prepares you for the sheer presence. He defies expectation, larger than life itself, 17 feet of sculpted magnificence, dwarfing the onlookers clustered below. Joining the hushed assembly, you feel an unexpected kinship with the atmosphere of a concert hall. David. Upon his stage, the audience rapt, gazing upward in collective reverence. Michelangelo's creation pulses with such latent energy, such potent vitality, that the line between artwork and being blurs. It requires little effort to imagine him stirring, drawing breath, descending from his pedestal. Of course, he embodies an ideal, the apotheosis of human form. His staggering height, his flawless musculature, transcend strict realism. Certain proportions are subtly amplified, perhaps a concession to the viewer gazing up from below. Yet, paradoxically, an astonishing verisimilitude anchors him. Observe the gentle swell of muscle, the delicate tracery of veins across his hand, and then his countenance. A landscape of emotion, the furrowed brow, the piercing intensity of his stare, profoundly human. How staggering! The thought that this entire presence emerged from a single monolithic block of marble. Michelangelo embarked upon this labor in 1501, a mere 26 years old. City fathers pondered the fate of a gigantic, flawed marble slab, already attempted and abandoned by other sculptors. The young Florentine, already renowned for earlier works, including the heart-rending Pietà, now gracing St. Peter's in Rome, faced his most formidable challenge. 3 years he wrestled with the stone, chipping away the superfluous, revealing the form within. Your guidebook whispers a quote attributed to the master, words echoing across centuries. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. Circling the statue, absorbing it from every angle, you mull over this profound concept, liberating the angel trapped within the stone. It transcends this single masterpiece, touching upon the very essence of artistic endeavor, the setting free of a creation, releasing it into the world for discovery by any and all. Florence itself is a gallery writ large, brimming with such liberated creations awaiting your gaze. Even within the academia, more awaits. Michelangelo's Prigioni, figures straining, seemingly mid-emergence from their stony prisons, eternally seeking release. You linger, exploring further, drinking in other Renaissance marvels, until a gentle saturation point is reached. Masterpieces like these demand digestion, savored incrementally. You recall reading of the curious affliction named for the French writer Stendhal, who, overwhelmed by Florence's artistic density, experienced faintness and palpitations. Stendhal syndrome, they call it, the intense psychophysical reaction some visitors feel. It's easy to understand. This compact city vibrates with history, art, and architectural splendor at every turn. Prudence suggests a slower rhythm, absorbing beauty piece by piece. Another gallery can wait for tomorrow. For now, the allure of the city streets beckons, an aimless wandering through the historic core. Outside, the afternoon sun bathes the city in warm, golden light. A soft breeze sighs through the narrow lanes, carrying the intoxicating perfume of jasmine and the savory promises drifting from nearby trattorias. Florence exudes a relaxed, unhurried charm, more akin to a provincial town than a frantic metropolis. Footsteps and bicycle bells form the city's primary soundtrack. No one rushes. The Florentine gait is measured, allowing time to appreciate the ubiquitous beauty. You find your own pace slowing, synchronizing with the city's gentle pulse. Strolling down a constricted via, you admire the harmonious elegance of the old buildings, rarely exceeding 3 or 4 stories. Their palettes are muted, pale ochre, cream, soft gray, accented by the deep greens and browns of wooden shutters. A seamless flow defines the cityscape. Buildings merge one into the next. Streets curve and wind organically. Periodically, through gaps in the urban fabric, the Duomo reveals itself, the colossal tiled dome of the cathedral, Florence's unmistakable crown. It appears suddenly at a street's end, a vast benevolent apparition. A part of you feels the pull to walk directly towards it, to stand beneath its immensity. Yet another part savors the delay, holding the full encounter in reserve, a future delight. For now, contentment lies in simply drifting, absorbing the ambiance of the shaded passages. Every corner holds a fragment of history, a plaque, a statue, an ancient wall, transforming the city into an open-air museum. You remember snippets from your reading. Medieval Florence, a powerhouse of European finance, its fortunes buoyed by the Arno River connecting it to the Mediterranean trade routes. Wool and luxurious textiles made its name famous, and around the 14th century, this thriving city became the crucible of the Renaissance, the rebirth. A cultural tidal wave surged, bringing innovation in art, science, philosophy. Thinkers drew inspiration from classical antiquity while simultaneously forging new paths, making discoveries that reshaped the world. It was an epoch of extraordinary ferment, and Florence was its epicenter, home to Galileo, whose celestial observations laid foundations for modern science. Leonardo da Vinci, the archetypal Renaissance man, resided here too. Astonishingly, many of history's greatest artists, Michelangelo, Botticelli among them, converged in Florence during roughly the same era. You ponder the density of genius concentrated in this one place. Was it mere coincidence, or did Florence possess some unique, nurturing quality? An answer begins to form as you emerge into a sunlit piazza. Before you stands a grand, fortress-like edifice, its distinctive crenellated tower punctuated by a clock face. This is the Palazzo Vecchio, the old palace. Even by Florentine standards, its roots run deep back to the 13th century. It served as a residence for the Medici family. Bankers by trade, the Medici dynasty wielded immense power, wealth, and influence across Europe for generations. Their name is interwoven with Florence's fabric, but the Palazzo Vecchio remains one of their most imposing legacies. You pause, gazing up at the formidable brick facade, then consult your guidebook for insights into the family who shaped so much of this city's destiny. The Medici's cultural patronage is perhaps their most enduring legacy. Their vast resources commissioned masterpieces from the era's brightest luminaries, Botticelli, Michelangelo, Raphael. They supported Leonardo, Galileo, and Brunelleschi, the architect of the Duomo's staggering dome. This powerful family emerges as a compelling common thread. Yet surely the explanation isn't solely financial. Renaissance Florence represented a confluence of factors: intellectual curiosity, civic pride, artistic rivalry, creating a fertile ground where talent could blossom. Tucking the guidebook away, you continue across the piazza, feeling the sun's warmth on your skin. History lies thick beneath your feet. You tread paths once walked by giants. Yet simultaneously, the square hums with ordinary life. Locals exercising dogs, children chasing pigeons, couples strolling hand in hand. Amidst the monumental history, the everyday unfolds. The juxtaposition is striking, making the past feel less remote, more tangible. A sense of continuity bridges the centuries. Spotting a chic Italian family, you momentarily indulge the fancy. Could they be Medici descendants? Or perhaps the connection persists, not through bloodline, but through enduring influence. The spirit of the Renaissance kept alive by all who come seeking inspiration within these storied walls. Drawn towards the cool shade of an adjacent street, you notice a group of friends laughing, savoring colorful cones of ice cream. Instantly, a craving awakens. A few steps further, nestled on a corner, a gelateria beckons. A rainbow of flavors gleams behind the glass. Strawberry, mandarin, lemon, kiwi, blueberry. Chocolate tempts, but the warm afternoon calls for something bright and crisp. You choose a cone crowned with 2 generous scoops of creamy lemon gelato. The server hands it over with a smile, mentioning the lemons are sourced from the Amalfi Coast, Italy's finest. Closing your eyes as you take the first taste, you savor the cool, zesty intensity. The bright citrus flavor momentarily transports you from the city stones to a sun-drenched lemon grove perched high above a sparkling sea. You picture rows of trees under a flawless azure sky melting into sapphire water. Opening your eyes, the daydream dissipates, but a lingering sense of peace remains. The taste of summer, you muse. Another journey, perhaps, to trace those lemons to their southern origin. The gelato is exquisitely refreshing, its subtle sweetness imparting a gentle lift. Though pleasantly weary, you feel ready to wander further, absorbing more of this captivating city. Soon, you find yourself on a street unlike the others. At first glance, it appears conventional, lined with shops. But peering into a storefront, your gaze travels straight through the building, out the window on the far side, revealing a patch of sky and a distant, cypress-studded hill. You realize you are on a bridge, the Ponte Vecchio, Florence's oldest crossing over the Arno River. Since medieval times, it has doubled as a thoroughfare and a marketplace. Originally, butchers and fishmongers plied their trades here, but in the 16th century, a Medici duke, desiring a more refined atmosphere, decreed that only goldsmiths and jewelers could occupy the shops. So it has remained. Today, as you traverse the bridge, every window scintillates with gold rings, bracelets, and necklaces. The Medici left another indelible mark on the Ponte Vecchio. Above the bustling shops, they commissioned the construction of a covered elevated walkway, the Vasari Corridor. This private passage connected the Duke's residence, the Palazzo Pitti, with the Uffizi offices on the opposite bank, allowing him to commute without descending into the crowds or enduring the market smells below. Today, both palace and offices, now the renowned Uffizi Gallery, welcome the public. Your guidebook notes the corridor itself is currently closed but slated to reopen. Glancing up, you spot the row of small, evenly spaced windows above the shops, the Duke's secret passage. You imagine him striding along, cocooned in luxurious privacy, high above the river. Though the corridor remains inaccessible, a different sort of luxury awaits. Past the glittering jewelry displays, the bridge opens into a central viewing area. Here, you can lean against the low stone parapet and drink in the river view. Letting your gaze drift leftward along the Arno, you see the elegant lines of the Uffizi Gallery, its walls glowing warmly in the afternoon sun. You trace the line of small windows along its upper level, perhaps the corridor's continuation, and find yourself musing about other hidden chambers and secret perspectives within this city of layers. The vista from the bridge possesses the perfect composition of a landscape painting. The tranquil river, a mirror reflecting the sky, flows through the center. Lining its banks are rows of beautiful old buildings in hues of cream, gold, and pale terracotta. In the distance, another bridge arches gracefully, an ancient tower stands sentinel, and a gentle hill rises, its crest feathered with tall, slender cypress trees. A yearning stirs within you to be there, atop that distant hill, viewing Florence from that elevated vantage point. But as you imagine the climb, the day's exertions make themselves known. You are tired, ready for respite. Thankfully, your hotel lies centrally, just a few streets away. Retracing your steps through the cooling back streets, you soon arrive at your hotel. Your room, situated on the top floor, is compact yet comfortable, adorned with rich fabrics and patterns. The curtains possess a palatial quality, creamy velvet embroidered with intricate floral motifs in shades of crimson, a deliberate nod, surely, to Florence's history and its famed textile artistry. But the room's true treasure lies beyond the fabric. You requested a room with a view. Pulling back the heavy curtains, you open the glass doors and step onto the small balcony. And there it is. Directly before you, rising majestically from a sea of terracotta rooftops, is the Duomo, the iconic dome of the cathedral. Brunelleschi's colossal structure, clad in orange-red tiles and crowned with an ornate white marble lantern, culminates in a bronze orb and cross, the final flourish, the cherry atop this architectural masterpiece. It is the symbol of Florence, the embodiment of the Renaissance spirit. You recall the story of the dome's construction. Work on Florence Cathedral began in 1296, but over a century later, the vast crossing remained open to the sky. In 1418, the city sought an architect capable of designing and erecting a massive, self-supporting dome. Controversy swirled around the method and the commission. Filippo Brunelleschi, a local goldsmith with no prior architectural projects, possessed both a revolutionary vision and the backing of the Medici. Legend holds he employed unconventional means to persuade the skeptical commissioners. During a meeting, he proposed the commission go to whoever could make an egg stand upright on its end. The egg was passed around. None succeeded. When it reached Brunelleschi, he simply tapped the egg firmly on the tabletop, slightly cracking the shell. The egg stood firm. He won the commission. Truth or legend, Brunelleschi's genius is undeniable. The dome remains an engineering marvel, composed of over 4 million bricks, still the largest masonry dome on Earth. Standing on your balcony, admiring the magnificent structure before you, you remember the tale of the egg and smile. Like Michelangelo seeing the angel in the marble, Brunelleschi perceived the extraordinary potential within the seemingly ordinary. Perhaps this shared insight was a hallmark of Florence's Renaissance luminaries. Thirst asserts itself after the long walk. You retreat inside, pour a glass of cool mineral water from the small fridge, and return to the comfortable lounge chair on the balcony. Sipping the water, feeling relaxed and refreshed, you continue to contemplate the beautiful dome bathed in the slanted golden light of late afternoon. It glows like a setting sun itself. Everything about this moment feels perfect. The view of the dome and the clustered rooftops, the high, evocative cries of swifts darting through the air, the pervasive scent of jasmine drifting from a nearby terrace. You inhale deeply, savoring the rich, sweet perfume. As evening approaches, the jasmine seems to intensify, or perhaps your senses, sharpened by a day immersed in Florentine beauty, are simply more receptive. Regardless, you relish it now. You continue to breathe slowly, rhythmically, your gaze fixed on the dome. The red bricks seem to absorb the soft golden light, their edges luminous. As the light imperceptibly fades, you treasure each passing second. Here, on this small balcony, suspended above the historic heart of Florence, you feel a profound sense of fortune. It has been a wondrous day, and now there is nothing left to do but rest, enveloped in the view, for as long as you desire. Before you stands an intimate sun-yellow house, half swallowed by exuberant greenery. A slender path of worn cobblestones meanders toward the simple wooden door. Sunlight, warm and generous, spills down, striking glancing blows of light off the broad, slick leaves of garden palms. The air itself feels tangible, thick with the mingled exhalations of ripening fruit, damp earth, and blossoming flowers. You allow your bare feet to press into the cool, yielding grass, your gaze drinking in the bursts of orange and pink blooms as you draw deep the intricate perfume of citrus and petals. A woman, radiating an easy warmth, steps out from the yellow house. Flip-flops slap softly against her heels. She wears comfortable shorts and a loose, long-sleeved button-down shirt, sleeves rolled. She offers a bright smile, introducing herself as Elena, your guide for this afternoon's journey into the world of cacao. With a welcoming gesture, she invites you inside. You slide your sandals off at the threshold, the cool floor a relief. Inside, your eyes land on a square wooden table dominating the room's center, arrayed with small bowls. They hold the elemental stages of chocolate, whole cacao beans, dark powder, and neat squares of the finished treasure. Shelves line the walls, laden with bars of chocolate and tins of herbal teas. A compact kitchen occupies one corner, its stove quiet for now, though Elena mentions it will soon roar to life for roasting beans. Beyond the main table, a smaller room gleams behind glass panels, revealing a stainless steel workspace and a substantial melting pot. You both settle onto chairs at the central wooden table. Elena begins to speak, her voice weaving a story of her family. 3 generations rooted in this very land, cultivating cacao. She speaks of its profound significance to the indigenous peoples, a fruit held in reverence, its beans once serving as currency, central to ancient and enduring ceremonies. She slides the bowl of whole beans towards you. You lift one. Its surface is smooth beneath your fingertips, its scent deeply earthy. Bringing it to your mouth, you bite down. A satisfying, resonant bitterness floods your senses. Next, you scoop up a few coarse nibs. feeling their granular texture between your fingers before letting them dissolve on your tongue, a rougher echo of the bean. Finally, a square of finished chocolate, already softening slightly in the ambient warmth. You place it carefully on your tongue, resisting the urge to chew, letting it liquefy instead. A wave of rich, sweet flavor washes forward from the tip, coating your cheeks, cascading down your throat. Utterly delicious. A buoyant energy surges through you, born of the chocolate's delightful taste in the anticipation of unlocking its creation. Elena nods knowingly. Chocolate, she explains, offers an energy akin to coffee, but without the nervous edge, a potent yet calming vitality. Soon, she promises, you'll delve deeper into the plant's healthful gifts. Rising, Elena leads you back towards the door, guiding you outside to explore the grounds. You slip your feet back into your shoes, re-emerging into the sun-drenched air. A tapestry of greens unfolds, punctuated by vibrant splashes of yellow, orange, and pink. As you follow her down a gentle slope beside the house, it seems every patch of earth yields something edible. Elena stoops, pulling a leafy green plant to reveal a knobbly, bulbous root. It resembles ginger, yet when she slices it open, a startlingly bright orange is revealed. She passes it to you. The skin feels rough against your palm. You turn the root over in your hand, bringing it close. The sharp, spicy fragrance of turmeric fills your nostrils. Handing it back, you notice a faint orange stain blooming on your skin. Your path takes you next towards a papaya tree, the ground soft and springy underfoot. Its pale brown trunk ascends to a fluttering crown of long, slender leaves. Just beneath this canopy, like precious jewels clutched close, hangs a cluster of smooth, oval green papayas. As you amble further with Elena through this edible landscape, you glimpse a sprawling lemon tree, a passion fruit vine heavy with plump offerings, and a defensive cluster of spiky aloe vera. You turn onto a dirt track winding gently uphill. Here stand several shorter trees adorned with what look like enormous, ridged lemons and limes. This, Elena announces, is the cacao tree, and these hefty oval fruits, in shades of vibrant yellow and deep green, are the cacao pods. She reaches up, twists a yellow pod free, and places it in your hands. It has surprising weight, its skin waxy and textured with bumps. Together, you gather several more, cradling them as you trace the shaded dirt path back towards the welcoming yellow house. Inside, the air feels cool, stirred by the lazy rotation of an overhead fan. The time has come to begin the transformation into chocolate. Elena arranges the yellow and green pods on the counter. With a swift cut, she halves one, revealing a startling white, fleshy pulp surrounding the beans within. She encourages you to taste a single bean, cautioning you not to bite through. You place the white morsel in your mouth. It dissolves sweetly on your tongue, releasing a delicate flavor and texture reminiscent of lychee fruit. You carefully suck the sweet flesh away, mindful of the precious bean beneath. Removing the seed, you hold a true cacao bean, You risk a tiny nibble. It's unexpectedly soft, intensely bitter, a world away from the chocolate it promises to become. Trying one from a yellow pod reveals a slightly sweeter pulp, the color indicating greater ripeness. These beans, still cloaked in their white fruit, Elena explains, are destined for fermentation, spread out under the sun for a week. During this time, the beans absorb the pulp's sweetness, developing the complex precursors of chocolate's signature flavor. Elena then produces a batch of beans that have already undergone this crucial step, allowing you to continue the process. She flicks a switch and the gas stove springs to life with a soft whoosh. A large frying pan is set upon the flame. You pour the fermented beans into the pan. Immediately, the air begins to bloom with the nascent aroma of chocolate as they begin to dry roast. You stir them constantly, listening to their gentle rhythmic clatter against the hot metal. After several minutes, the pan is removed from the heat, the roasted beans tipped onto a plate. You pick one up, its warmth radiating into your palm, and take a bite. The brittle shell cracks satisfyingly, releasing a wave of warm, pure cocoa flavor. You savor the beans slowly, appreciating the profound difference between this and the raw, bitter one tasted moments before. Once the tasting is complete, you roast another, larger batch, pouring the finished beans into a bigger bowl. Then, you and Elena walk past the glass-walled chocolate room and out the back door onto a wooden deck. Before you sit two sturdy hand-crank grinders, waiting. Beyond the deck, on the grass, a long table stands covered with trays lined with broad, flat banana leaves. You wander closer and see rows upon rows of cacao beans lying upon the leaves, basking in the sun, undergoing their slow fermentation. Back on the deck, you pour the roasted beans into the hopper of the first grinder. You begin to turn the metal handle, a satisfying resistance meeting your effort. The machine groans softly as it fractures the beans into smaller, irregular pieces, cacao nibs. You watch them tumble into the collection tray below. The act of grinding releases a richer, deeper chocolate aroma, stirring faint, pleasant memories of childhood treats. Scooping up a handful of warm nibs, you inhale deeply before letting them cascade through your fingers. You pour the remaining beans in, continuing to turn the crank. The lush backdrop of tropical plants and trees, a serene accompaniment to your labor. With all the beans ground, Elena demonstrates the next step, sifting. Taking handfuls of nibs, she lets them fall, gently blowing as they descend. The lighter, papery shells catch the breeze and drift away, while the heavier, denser fragments of cacao fall cleanly to the tray below. You try it yourself, feeling the satisfying weight of the ground slip through your grasp, watching the shells dance away on the air to settle on the earth. The ground around the grinding station is carpeted in these discarded husks, perfuming the air. The soft hooting of unseen birds drifts from the trees, and a light breeze cools your face. The entire afternoon feels steeped in a simple, profound delight, and the final chocolate hasn't even been tasted yet. Suddenly, a flash of brilliant color, a scarlet macaw settles onto the branch of the nearby papaya tree. You pause, watching it preen its magnificent feathers, listening for a moment to its exotic call. Costa Rica, a sanctuary of biodiversity. Every fruit tasted, every creature seen and heard, testifies to the vibrant beauty of this land. Once the nibs are thoroughly sifted, shells whisked away by the breeze, you carry the tray to the second grinder. This one promises an even finer transformation. Round and round you spin the lever again, watching the nibs break down further, becoming a coarse powder. The scent of cocoa intensifies with every rotation, evoking cozy memories of steaming mugs on cold days. The breeze continues its gentle caress against your skin as you work. An iguana, ancient and unhurried, ambles across the yard, utterly indifferent to the delicious alchemy underway. When the grinding is complete, Elena offers you a glass of cool water. You take a grateful sip, wiping a bead of sweat from your brow. Chocolate making, you realize, is labor born of love, demanding yet deeply rewarding. Resting for a moment, you breathe deeply, noticing how the rich chocolate aroma now intertwines with the sweet floral notes from the garden. An utterly captivating blend. Water finished, you carry the tray of fine cacao powder back inside, entering the glass-paneled chocolate-making chamber. It's a compact space, noticeably more modern than the rest of the house. The air here is cooler. Through the glass walls, you can see both the verdant garden outside and the main room where your treat will soon be enjoyed. On the gleaming stainless steel counter sits an open-topped metal machine, a refiner. You pour the powder inside and Elena switches it on. The grounds begin to spin, a vortex of brown, becoming progressively finer. What began as powder gradually, miraculously, begins to liquefy. Elena explains this phenomenon. The friction and heat generated by the spinning release the natural cacao butter within the beans, transforming the solid grounds into molten chocolate. You watch, mesmerized, as the bowl fills with a smooth, glossy, dark liquid. Elena hands you a small wooden stick. Dip it in, she urges. The mixture is thick, viscous. It clings heavily as you lift the stick. The taste of pure, unadulterated liquid cacao is intense, creamy, profoundly rich. It's almost unbelievable that no milk, no sugar has been added. While you continue to sample, Elena slips out and returns with several jars filled with colorful dried fruits. One holds the spiky green skins of guanabana. Another contains the dark, crunchy seeds of passion fruit. A third jar reveals the striking white flesh and magenta skin of dried dragon fruit, and the last holds dried marignon, the small reddish-orange cashew apple bursting with vitamin C. You pause, considering each potential flavor companion for your chocolate. Taking in the vibrant colors, you uncap the jars, inhaling the distinct scents, sweet, sharply citrusy, subtly tart. Your choice settles on passion fruit. Elena grinds the dried seeds into a fine powder. Then, taking the bowl of liquid chocolate, you pour it directly onto the cool stainless steel counter. It spreads from a central point, forming a perfect, ever-widening circle. Elena sprinkles the golden passion fruit powder across the surface. The sweet tang of the fruit marries the deep cocoa aroma in the air. She hands you a small metal spatula. You begin to fold the powder into the chocolate, the mixture yielding softly, creamily under the blade. Once thoroughly combined, you carefully guide the flavored chocolate into a heart-shaped silicone mold. Elena whisks it away to the freezer. You lick the remaining chocolate from the spatula. The passion fruit's bright, sweet tart notes cut beautifully through the creamy bitterness of the cacao. It's a perfect pairing. You carry the mixing bowl back to the main room, settling again at the wooden table. Elena joins you, and together, using wooden sticks, you scrape the remnants from the sides of the bowl, savoring every last drop. You marvel at how distinct, yet how delicious, the cacao has tasted at each stage of its journey. It's easy to understand why it was once deemed food for the gods. And being such a revered substance, not a speck should be wasted. Elena smiles, sharing the impromptu snack, and begins to tell you about the health benefits of consuming chocolate in its purer forms. Energy enhancement, stress relief, even potential cardiovascular advantages. She gestures towards the garden, mentioning that many plants she cultivates possess medicinal properties, aiding digestion, boosting immunity, improving mental clarity. Given the broad grin spreading across your face, fueled by raw chocolate, these benefits feel entirely plausible. You chat easily as you wait for the hearts to harden, becoming more attuned to the house itself, the subtle creaks and whispers of the wood. In what feels like only a few minutes, your chocolate is ready? Elena returns, popping the firm, cool hearts from the mold onto a small plate. You pick one up. It feels solid and cool in your hand. But warmth begins to bloom on its surface from your touch, so you quickly place it in your mouth. You let it rest on your tongue, allowing it to melt slowly. The flavor seems even more profound, more integrated in solid form. You mention this to Elena, who nods, adding that mixing the liquid chocolate with milk creates a sublime hot cocoa. Taking slow bites, the flavors explode anew. The slight bitterness of the cacao perfectly balanced by its inherent creaminess. The passion fruit adding sparks of bright sweetness. The delight is amplified by the knowledge that every ingredient originated right here, nurtured by this land, and the satisfaction of having participated directly in its creation makes the taste even sweeter. While you eat, Elena brews a pot of herbal tea. It's made from guanabana leaves, also grown on the property, she explains, a potent antioxidant, traditionally used to treat various ailments and still valued today. The tea arrives, pale and fragrant. Its flavor is smooth, subtly bittersweet, a perfect counterpoint to the richness of the cacao. As you sip the tea and finish the last of the chocolate hearts, laughter and stories flow freely between you and your knowledgeable guide. Elena shares memories of her childhood immersed in the Costa Rican rainforest, of learning the art of chocolate from her elders, You, in turn, share glimpses of your own life, your favorite treats from home. Outside, the sun begins its descent, painting the sky in fiery hues. When you take the final bite of chocolate, a contented smile blossoms instinctively. You savor it, letting it linger, melt, release its complex notes across your entire palate. From tip of tongue to the core of your being, it feels utterly heavenly. With that lingering smile, you carry the rest of your tea outside. The warmth of the mug seeps into your hands as you step back into the rich soundscape of Costa Rica at dusk. Somewhere in the deepening green, the resonant calls of howler monkeys echo as they navigate the canopy. Two vividly colored birds nearby offer their evening songs, the setting sun catching glints of light on leaves of myriad shapes. The tea's gentle warmth that spreads through you, inducing a profound sense of relaxation, of being perfectly situated in this magical place. The sunset bathes everything in a soft, rosy luminescence. The earth sheltering turmeric roots, the silent papaya and lemon trees. A wave of gratitude washes over you for the experience of this place, this moment, and especially for the taste of chocolate, understood now from root to exquisite final form. Letting the sounds, the sights, the lingering flavors envelop you, a deeper ease settles in, a feeling akin to being ready for sleep, cradled by the murmuring lullabies of the Costa Rican rainforest.